The news comes to you compliments of the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Digicel, Cyril B. Romney Tortola, Pier Park, Nagico Insurances, Banco Popular, Simply Secure, and NV Salon, Spa, Nail, and Barbershops.
Dance is more than just physical movement. It's a tool through which students of all ages hone their confidence, creativity, self-expression, and shine bright at the Adagio Dance School. Our success is built on the quality of our instruction. We offer 4 levels of ballet ranging from preschool to junior, where students learn the proper techniques to perform pieces of this traditional style of dance effortlessly. Each of these classes further boosts physical, mental, and emotional well-being and adds a little more enjoyment to your child's everyday life. Adagio also offers more contemporary classes like Afrobeats and hip-hop. Acrobatics presents limitless benefits like strength building, flexibility, and hand and eye coordination. Students are encouraged to support each other throughout the training process and build on what they've learned. Our teachers are there every step of the way, skillfully guiding and supervising movements to improve balance and agility without causing injury. Preschool and primary students are given extra attention as they develop their coordination. For some extra flair, students can enroll in our majorettes classes. Conditioning and flexibility takes all their movements to the next level. In light of COVID-19, we've implemented strict safety measures in our spacious studio to ensure students get the most out of our classes without compromising their health or the health of their loved ones. Come find your rhythm at the Adagio Dance School. Call or send us an email today to learn more about our classes.
Stop.
Stop.
Stop. Think.
Think.
Before you act.
Before you act.
Think before you act.
With a Thursday, September 2, 2021 hard deadline from some cruise lines, last night, August 31, persons in the cruise industry, mainly those in the transportation industry, were given the coin to flip for life or death to the cruise industry of the territory of the Virgin Islands.
If we're going to catch any more business with the cruise ship industry, we have to think very carefully and make the right decisions. They have made up in their minds that if they have to do any rapid testing on their arrival to the BVI, that they would not come to our shores. We have tried on many occasions. As we said before, we have to weigh the consequences. Do we want to take the risk? Or do we look at our future? We know the taxi operators, they depend heavily on the cruise ships when they come in. The restaurants will suffer and other business places, which depends on the cruise ship industry coming to our shores. If we miss the opportunity around this time, I think we're going to have a bleak season also next year. The cruise industry, they plan these cruises way in advance. We have seen that we have been omitted from some of their listing all into January 2022. And so we have to be very careful of where we're going to and how long we take to make that decision. I too am very conscious about the health and safety of our people, which should be paramount. But also we have to look at the economy and also the bread and butter of some of the lives of the people that depend on the cruise ships coming into the territory. So tonight, I don't know if we understand the real reason why we're here. We are asking for your input. Do we say to the cruise liners tomorrow, we are not willing to accept you if you don't do the PCR testing on your arrival to the territory? Although we are mindful of the fact that, yes, they do the testing when they get on the ships, and the minister said before that perhaps they might make 1 or 2 stops in other destinations. But we have to decide what are the risks we're going to take this evening. Do we give up the cruising industry until COVID is over? Do we sit idle by? And once the ships leave our shores and they go to other destinations, it would be very difficult for us to attract them back to the British Virgin Islands. We'd have our work cut out for us. What decisions do we make going forward in the next 1 or 2 days. Do we opt to let them leave our shores and wait until the COVID period has ended? And we don't know when that would be. That is what is before us this evening.
That's Managing Director of the BVI Ports Authority, Ms. Olivine Maynard. Premier and Minister of Finance, Honorable Andrew A. Foy, who was also present at that meeting, added,
One thing I'll tell you, if you miss this industry this year, conquer out next year. And if you miss this year and next year, somebody have to finance the port's loan that they had long before I reach. All up to about $50 million, I think it is now. Yes, somebody have to find that money. And that's just for the loan. We're not talking about the rest money that needed now to help keep people employed. So this is not something just for people to get emotional about. Because while you might get your way, if we decide, well, all right, don't let them come at all, and if they can't be tested, they can't come off, someone going to have to also tell me why we are pushing these protocols if we're not going to make sure that we adhere to them. Because we've been here talking about the ship. Hopefully tonight, none of us have COVID. But all of us mask up. And all of us doing what we have to do because we're practicing the very measures that we have put in place. That's all we could do. And I think I heard somebody say, I think it was Mrs. Foy said it right, pray and walk. What else are we going to do? We kept it safe until we got vaccines. We brought the vaccines already. Some said they ain't getting vaccinated. We put the health measures in place. We can't keep it locked fully down like this all the time, whereas somebody will have to pay the bill. Even the finance people telling me, all the revenue makers are done giving certain things that, didn't plan out due to COVID. So, it sounds hard what I'm saying. Even some of my members will get angry, but financially dead, and COVID dead, is dead.
And speaking on the dollar value of the cruise industry to the Virgin Islands, Chief Executive Officer of the Cyril B. Romney Tortola Pier Park, Mr. Vance Lewis.
One of our best years, if not our best, was back in 2016. That year we saw some 695,000 passengers, and we can just estimate that to be 700,000 passengers. And a study was done by the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association, the FCCA, shortly following that. And this is a study that's done in different destinations, but we specifically asked for that study to understand the spend per cruise passenger, because quite often there's a perception that cruise passengers don't spend any money. And that spend indicated that about $78, I think it's $78.11 per passenger is what we experience in the BVI. There are some destinations across the world which are higher, and there are some destinations which are lower. But if you assume $78.11 to be approximately $80, and you multiply that by 700,000, that's roughly 56 million. Added to that, you will see that with a head charge, which approximates again to $10 million, gives you some $66 million. That is the recorded value of cruise tourism to the territory. And if you use that as a percentage of our GDP, let's assume the gross domestic product for the territory is $1 billion. That is roughly 7%. So that's the money side of it. And in terms of the Caribbean having multiple cruise destinations, just remember, a cruise touches more than one destination. So it's the cruise ship not going to go to one destination then go back home. They will touch multiple destinations. That comprises the cruise. So we find ourselves in competition with other entities in the Caribbean for the cruise lines as well. And even though we bring unique beauty, and we bring a lot of uniqueness in terms of how we do things in these beautiful Virgin Islands, we must also not sit in isolation. So Cabinet has got quite a lot to consider tonight.
Part of the cruise liners' justification of not bowing to the Virgin Islands rapid test on arrival protocol.
You need to consider on the cruise ship, once the guests are on board, there are constant temperature measurements and so on. It's not that the passenger on board and will not be monitored. The teams on the ships, they are highly trained to check the passengers and the crew. There are, everybody, all the crew are looking out for these things. They see somebody what doesn't look well, they're straight sent to the infirmary where they're going to get checked and get a PCR test done. And once they did test positive, they will go in isolation and there will be contact tracing on the ship. And the contact tracing on the ship is made available because you have the key cards, you have so many things on the ship what we as locals are not really aware. But there is a lot of things what helps them to avoid any outbreak on board and to helps also to see directly, oh, this person doesn't look well, here, test.
Based on the summary laid out by Premier and the Minister of Finance, Honorable Andrew A. Foy, it was established that most are in favor of doing what is necessary to ensure that the industry is not lost for the Virgin Islands. With this JTV News Update, Kathy Richards.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Stop.
Stop. Stop. Think.
Think
Before you act.
before you act.
Think before you act.
You value traditions.
Today.
You value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Our reliance on digital systems has opened new vulnerabilities to sophisticated cyber attacks. Simply Secure's security management solution helps overcome these challenges. Our service includes 24/7, 360-degree protection for all computers and servers with automatic restoration, security audits, and penetration testing. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Contact us at info@simplysecuregroup.com.